Okay, so we're jumping in again. Near enough straight away. I had a little bit of a break, and let's see what happens here. Okay, so we have the drone spawn again. We have no towers this time, so we're gonna have to deal with the drones ourselves. Activate afterburner and shield, and let's start shooting them out the sky. I'm gonna use range on this one, just to put them off a little bit. I don't think the tracking speed is going to help in this situation, because drones have pretty good tracking speed. I'm going to apply it to that one and leave that till last. These guys do a little bit of DPS. The lower levels, they're quite manageable, but when you get to the higher levels, if you get a swarm of about 15 of them, they can overcome your active shield boosting if you're not careful. So you have to be very mindful to keep up your velocity, keep up your rotation as well, keep changing direction so that they're not always in their optimal range all the time, and you create a problem for them. But these ones are quite easy to deal with. It's just the last two to go now. In that last run we did as well, we picked up 3.1 million ISK and a BPC that's not worth anything. You barely get any profit out of that. Okay, down the last drone. In terms of time, less than 3 minutes. The drones are quite easy at the lower levels. They do a bit of DPS, but you should be fine to tank them. So let's pop the can open. And we have 1.1 million for the first room. That's pretty good. That's about average, 1 to 1.5. We've also picked up a metaplasmid for a 100 meganewton afterburner, which is no good to us right now, but if we were flying battleships we could maybe use them. Right, so we got missiles and jump. Let's see what we get. Cynabal. Oof, this could be scary. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to take out the Fury first. And apply range to the Cynabal. Disruptor to the Cynabal. So yeah, in terms of PvP, whenever I see a Cynabal, their speed and mobility is a little bit daunting for me, because I usually fly in much slower ships. So yeah, he's actually neuting me out and he's got a web on him, so this is going to be a bit of a problem. Should have gone for the Cynabal first. So he's stopping my shield boost, and because I strayed too close to the tower, he's probably going to kill me off here. I'm pretty much dead in the water at this point. Can't really activate anything, I've got no capacitor. So the Cynabal's a difficult room, it's probably the hardest I've seen so far. That and the pacifiers. It's me deep in structure, that's me dead. chance? No way. Going down the wire. Ah, that's me dead. There goes my ship. So, there's nothing I can do now. The Cynabal's probably going to kill my pod any second, but it's got no implants. And that was the end of that round. So, I had a look back at the footage from the last run, and I've kind of realised the mistakes that I'd made. So, the first one was I tried to take out the Fury first instead of the Cynabal. So I should have gone for Cynabal first, which I did mention earlier on. Second of all, I noticed that I had dragged him towards the tracking pylon, so that basically helped him a great deal at the start of the fight. The minute he got away from that, that's when he started to struggle to apply DPS to me. Third thing as well, I didn't try to kite him in any way, shape, or form. At the beginning, when I first went into the room, I kind of burnt straight at him, which is like, you'd never do that. I should have burnt away to begin with, try and get a bit of distance, and then hit the Cynabal range with the 60 km missiles that I've got. So if I was to get that room again, that's what I'd be looking to do. I'd be looking to kite Cynabal as best as I could for as long as I could. Try and use my thermodynamics, so overheat my afterburner as much as I can to get that distance so he can't apply his DPS to me. To the optimal range script, basically when I turned that off on the weapon disruptor, he was actually hit me pretty hard after that, so I should have maintained that whilst I was trying to kite, so it would have made it very, very hard for him to apply DPS to me until he got in closer, and then I could overheat my afterburner. I didn't at any single point manage to overheat my hardener for my shield. Again, that was another problem when things started to go wrong. Kind of like panicked a little bit, and I think that's normal when you're coming across something like that for the first time. If I was to again come across that same situation, I'd be overheating that once I got into kind of like 50% shield or less if I was getting neuted out. But the newt and the web, so the newts have got a fair amount of range on them, but if I'm trying to kite, I'll keep out of that, so I won't need to use my capacitor as much, and I can use my shield booster for longer. And also the webifier, I basically couldn't get away from him once he got his web on me. So again, this comes down to kiting it. So that's Cynabal. You need to do your damnedest to basically kite it. Now, the Corax is a lot slower compared to the Talwar. So the Talwar is going to have that better ability to kite that Cynabal. So in my next series of videos, I'll probably look to shift to the Talwar to see how that's going to compare. And this is the loss from that Corax. So I didn't lose too much in loot. It's only valuing it at 2.5 million on in-game currency, but when I pop that on Z kill board, that's probably going to be up about 10 million-esque, factoring in things like the Gita market and stuff like that. So yeah, that's me back in my pod, feeling sorry for myself. That's all the loot that I've got over the last few runs that I've been doing, and this will be the next one that I'll be doing. So we are. Make active. So the next series I'm going to look at using the Talwar. So the fit that I've got at the moment is this, but I may change it to an active tanked one, because I think the active tanked one worked very well against the pacifiers the last time I ran into it with the Skybreaker. There was only one instead of three, but I need to see how that's going to work long term, and because that's one of the troublesome rooms that I've found so far, the pacifier and the Cynabal, I need to work on how I'm going to combat that. So the speed difference, let's simulate this. Obviously we're not getting the boost, the 50% boost, but as you can see that's 652 meters per second with the afterburner on for the Talwar. But if we go to the Corax is 587. So the extra speed might help us with the Talwar. So we need to see how well that's going to fare. But in terms of tank, simulate. So this is a buffer fit Talwar, which I might change to an active tank fit. You've got 8,400 EHP, and when you compare that to the buffer tanked Corax that I was using, that one is 8,700. So, but this one has the advantage of the tracking disruptor that has come in quite handy for me. The Talwar is not going to have that, so I need to see how that's going to play out. One of the other things that the Talwar gets, which the Corax doesn't, is if we go on the info and look for traits. Yeah, so there's a 15% reduction in micro-warp drive signature radius penalty for the Talwar. So we could maybe look at an option for a 5 meganewton micro-warp drive. I don't think the Corax gets the same thing. No, the Corax doesn't. So I think the Talwar with a micro-warp drive is probably going to be the way to go. So I might construct a fit for that and see how we get along. Okay, so I will see you in the next series of videos, which will be in a Talwar fit that I construct. Okay, bye for now.